welcome to Eureka Math. This is Module 2, Lesson 16, and we just had our mid-module assessment. So, for those of you who did not do as well as you would have liked, please come talk to me about that. We can talk about some retakes and what we need to do to get you up to that level. So, let's move on to Lesson 16. Here's number 1. Our objective today is to divide by 10 patterns for multi-digit whole number division. So what we're going to do is be multiplying things like 5,000 divided by 100, right? These are all multiples of 10. And we can come up with, right? So if I multiply this, or divide by this, I can take a 0 from here and a 0 from here. 500 divided by 10 is the same, or I could do 50 divided by 1, all the same problem, right? 50 divided by 1 equals 50. Or I could take the same problem, right? And I could think of it in multiples of, let's see, 5 times 100 times 10, or 3 zeros would be 10 to the third, right? So let's just do that. Times 10 times 10. 5 times 10 times 10 times 10 equals 5,000. Okay, and then if I were to divide by 10 times 10, which is 10 times 10, which is 100, right? What I get here is this one cancels out this one, and this one cancels out this one, and what I have left is 50 divided by 1 is what I have left, and that comes up to 50, okay? Or I could think of it in terms of my place value, right? So if I have thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, oops, and I have 5, 0, 0, 0, and I'm dividing by 100, so I'm going to go this way 2 spaces, right? Here's my decimal point, and this is my tenths, and my hundredths, which I'm not going to need. If I move everything over 2 decimal places, that means this goes here, and this goes here, and these are zeros, and they would go beyond the decimal point, so I don't actually need them, and my new answer would be 50.00, and then I could take those off, and 50. Okay, so we're just going to practice division using our place value and our multiples of 10, and we're going to just tackle division today in a bunch of different ways. So let's go to number 1. Put your name on the paper. Divide. Draw place value discs to show your thinking for A and C. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to divide 500 into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 place value discs, and each of those is worth 100. Okay, and then I'm going to divide all of that by 10, and 100 divided by 10 is 10. 100 here divided by 10 is 10. 100 here divided by 10 is 10. 100 divided by 10 is 10. And 100 divided by 10 is 10. So if I add those together, I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that's my new answer. Okay? So lots of ways to show division. There were some other ways too. I could have erased one of the zeros on either side. I could have used a place value chart. But for number 1, they wanted us to use place value discs. So that's what we did. Okay. Now, letter B, 360 divided by 10. So let's see. 360 divided by 10 is the same as 36 times 10 divided by 1 times 10, right? And because both sides of the equation are divided by 10, I can cross this off here and this off here, and then my answer becomes 36 divided by 1, which is very simple. My answer is 36. All right, letter C. For letter C, they asked us to use place value discs again. So here I'm going to go back to a darker color. 12,000. So let's say here I have 10,000. Here 1,000. And here 1,000. Okay. And I'm going to divide all of those things by 100, just like I did up in the first one. And 10,000 divided by 100 equals 100. 1,000 divided by 100 equals 10. And 1,000 divided by 100 equals 10. If I add those up, I get 120. Okay? And I can just see that here, 0, 0, 0, 0. And I have 120 divided by 1. Right? Okay, next one. 45 times 10 to the 4th divided by 10 the second, or squared, okay, or 100. And if I do it this way, 45 times 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros there, that means that 2 of these cancel out 2 of these. We're just doing a whole bunch of different ways here. I'm going to cancel this out completely, and this I'm going to change to 2, okay? All right, so 45 times 10 squared is 4,500. And if I take those all away, I'm left with 1. And then my answer becomes 4,500. All right, let's keep going. Are you seeing how there's all these different ways that we can divide these answers? Let's see. 700,000. So how do I want to do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 7 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Okay. Divided by 10 times 10 times 10. Okay. So whatever I do to the left, I have to do to the right. If I take off this 10 and that 10, this 10 and that 10, this 10 and that 10, what I'm left with is 7 times 10 times 10 divided by 1, which equals 700 divided by 1, which equals 700. Okay, and I can check my work up here. 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there, 1 here, 1 there. 700 divided by 1 equals 700. Great. And last one on this page. How should we do this one? I kind of like that exponents. Let's do that. 53 times 10 to the 4th divided by 10 squared. Okay, which we can take this out completely and turn that into a 2, because whatever we do to the left, we have to do to the right. And that's going to leave here 53 times 10 squared divided by 1, which equals 5,300 divided by 1 equals 5,300. Okay, this should be pretty easy for you. These numbers are really easy. We're dividing by 1, basically. Just got to count those zeros. All right, let's try this. Now we're getting a little bit harder because we're no longer dividing by multiples of 10. Now that second number has another digit in it, so let's see what they've done here. 12,000 divided by 30. Well, they've taken 30 and they've split it into 10 and 3, right? Because 10 times 3 equals 30. But they're going to divide it and then divide it and then divide it again. So 12,000 divided by 10 would be, right, 1,200. And then divide 1,200 by 3. Well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then we have our 2 zeros left after that. Okay, so let's do the same thing for letter B, but we just have a few more zeros here, right? Divided by, and we're going to split this 300 into 103, right? Because 3 and 100 together make 300. And 12,000 divided by 100 is 120, right? Because I took this 0 and this 0, then this 0 and this 0, and I was left 120 divided by 1, divided by 3. So 12 divided by 3 is 4, and then bring the 0 down, and your answer is 40. Okay, let's try this one. 12,000 divided by, and this 3,000 we're going to split into 1,000 divided by 3, right? So this is turning into that. And that would give us, if I take this 0 and this 0, this 0 and this 0, this 0 and this 0, I have 12 divided by 1 divided by 3, which equals 12 divided by 3, which equals 4. Okay? So just please show all your steps. Next one, 56. 560,000. You see that 56 right there? Do you see 7? It goes into 56 how many times? 8 times, right? So that's what we're trying to get to. And then I'm going to make this 70 a 10 and a 7. I'm splitting those out there, okay? So I can take off a 0. 5600 divided by 7. Okay, so I took off this and I took off that. Now 56 divided by 7 is 8, and then bring down my zeros. Okay, 56000 divided by, and then this 700 is going to become 100 divided by 7, these two, right? I'm splitting those out. And I can take off these 2 zeros and these 2 zeros, which gives me 5600 divided by 7, which equals 8. 7 goes into 56 8 times and 2 zeros at the end. Yeah, same answer, which makes sense. Does it make sense? Hang on. 5, 6, oh, I made a mistake up here, didn't I? This should be 8,000. You see that? I crossed off a 0 here and a 0 there, and I had 3 zeros left, and I only wrote down 2. That was my fault. So yeah, they didn't have the same answer. I'm glad I double-checked my work. Okay, 56000 divided by, and this I'm going to split into 1,007. Now I can take off 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to give me 560 divided by 7, and that's going to be 80 is my answer. answer there. All right, let's keep going. We have 3 pages for this homework, or this section, so let's do it quickly here. All right, 28. So 4 goes into 28. How many times? 7 times, right? So you can see that. 2, 3, and I'm going to turn this into 10 and 4, which means this can turn into that. Divided by 4, and 4 goes into 28. What did I just say? 7 times. Okay, and then bring down my zeros. This is easy. This should be easy. If it's not easy, let me know. Ooh. I hope you're getting it though, especially because we've been practicing it so much. Okay, and here, 500. I'm going to do that into 100 and 5. Okay, and 5 goes into 45 9 times. So I know that 5 and 45 is 9. And I'm going to take these 2 zeros and these 2 zeros, which leaves me with 4,500 divided by 5. And 5 goes into 45 9 times. Bring down my 2 zeros, 900. Okay, 81. 9 goes into 81 9 times. So let's see. I'm going to turn that into 1,009. So I can take all of these, and I have 810 divided by 9. 9 goes into 81 9 times. Bring down the 0. Okay. Next page. Story problem time. The floor of a rectangular banquet hall has an area of 3,600 meters. Area equals 3,600 meters squared. The length is 90. What is the width of the banquet hall? So we want to know what the width is. Okay, so we know that area equals length times width. And we know the area is 3,600. And we know that the length is 90. Oops. What we don't know is the width. Okay. So whatever I do to the right, I can do to the left. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this number and I'm going to divide it by 90. And if I do that on the right, I have to do it on the left. So 3,600 divided by 90. Okay. I'm actually going to erase it up here so you can see the original. All right, so do you see what I've done? On this side I divided by 90, and this side I divided by 90. Now all I need to do is do my math, right? So 90 divided by 90 is 1. So that leaves me with 1 times W. And on this side, 36 divided by 90, well, 9 goes into 36 4 times. And I have a 0 on this side and 2 zeros on this side. So I'm going to cut one of those and one of those. And that's going to give me 40. Okay. So 40 equals 1W, which means 40 equals the width. Okay, so width equals 40 meters. Let's just check our work. 90 times 40, right? Oops, sorry. 9 times 0 is 0, 0 times 0 is 0, 0 times 9 is 0. Then the second one, 0 times 4 is 0, 4 times 9 is 36, and then add 36 meters squared. All right, so what is the width of the banquet hall? 40. This is just checking my work, right? The width is 40 meters. Okay. A square banquet hall has the same area. Okay, so length and width are equal. That's what we know because it is a square. So squares have the same length on all sides, and the area inside is 3,600 meters squared. So what times itself would get me 3,600? Well, I know that 6 times 6 equals 36. So 60 times 60 equals 3,600. So my length and my width must be 60, right? So length is 60 meters. A third rectangular banquet hall has a perimeter of 3,600 meters. Okay, so this one has a perimeter. Wait a minute, I'm going to draw this a little bit differently. Of 3,600. The width is what is the width if the length is 5 times the width? Okay, so here's the width, and the length is 5 times the width. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this. Okay, so if this is the width, the length equals 5 times the width, right? Because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But all we want to know is the perimeter. So the perimeter equals 3,600. And that goes all the way around. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 going around. So I want to know what each of these things is, right? Right? Because the width is just 1. So 12 is what goes around. So 3,600 or 3,600 divided by 12, it's going to give me the width. And 36 divided by 12 is 3, right? And then I bring down my zeros. So 300 must be the width. So let me just count this to make sure. So that would be 300, 600, 900, 1,200, 1,500, 1,800, 2,100, 2,400, 2,700, 30, 33, 3,600. Yeah, that goes all the way around. Good. Oh my gosh, there's 4 pages. Sorry guys, I miscounted. All right, last question. 2 parts. Number 4, 2 fifth graders solved 400,000 divided by 800. Okay, 400,000 divided by 800. Carter said the answer is 500. Carter. And Kim said that the answer was 5,000. Well, let's do our own answer here. And let's say 400,000 would be 4 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 divided by 8 times 10 squared. Okay, So if I take this away, over here I'm left with 3, right? So 4, 1, 2, 3 divided by 8. Okay, so 4,000 divided by 8. What I really just did was, and I took more steps than I needed to. I just took a 0 here, and then a 0 here, a 0 here, and a 0 here. So what I was left with was 4,000 divided by 8. Now I know that 8 goes into 40 5 times. Okay, 8 goes into 40 5 times. And then I'm going to bring down these 2 zeros, not that one. Why? Because I've already used that one when I divided the 8 into the 40. So the answer is 500. But you can see how Kim might have made the mistake of dividing 8 into 40 as 5 and then bringing down all 3 zeros, right? So that's what she did. Who is the correct answer? Carter is correct. The answer is 500. What if the problem were 4 million divided by 8,000? 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 divided by 8, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm going to take a 0 from this side and a 0 from that side. Then a 0 from this side and a 0 from that side. Then a 0 from this side and a 0 from that side. And I'm left with 4,000, oops, divided by 8. Is that the same problem? Sure is. It's exactly the same problem. Okay, so 40 divided by 8 equals 5. And then bring down these two, right? And I can show you that over here if you want. Okay. 500 is the quotient. That is the last page. All right, lesson 16. We're cruising along. Have a great day.